Hey everyone, it's Krystallee here. So, how do you deal with being embarrassed about what you're stressed out about? And what you're stressed out about is your parental burnout or mommy or daddy burnout related to your child. And people who do experience parental burnout have a great sense of guilt associated with it because they don't think that they should feel this way. They don't think it's acceptable. They think that there's a stigma attached to it. They think that other people will be judgmental. And although that all those things could possibly be true, it really boils down to how do you think about it? How do you feel about it? And a lot of people as parents think that they have to do a perfect, flawless job. They can't mess up. And if they mess up, then they failed. And if there was a simple handbook of how to be the best parent possible, I think everybody would pick that book up. But it's complicated. It's complex. There's many things that we can't predict or prepare ourselves for. So when you're stressed about being a parent, when you're stressed about actions from your child, it's just about how do you deal with them. And sometimes maybe, potentially, it's not always ideal to talk with everyone about what you're experiencing. Some places are safer than others. Some people are safer and more confidential to speak to versus others. So you really have to know what's around you and be aware of the people around you and environments around you where it is safe for you to express your frustrations, your stress, and be able to unload a little bit of that. And there's great supportive outlets out there for parents. There's support groups for parents. There's online forums. There's friends and family who may be able to be supportive as well. So finding the right people to lean on, finding the right groups to be involved with, putting yourself in a place where you're gaining support, you're gaining more positive atmosphere in a whole sense of the environment that you're putting yourself in, both physically and mentally. All of those things can contribute to how you deal with the stress that you feel from your child. And as I said, if there was an easy, simple way of doing this, then we would all do it. But it's very unique and individualized. And as you know, as a parent, you're juggling many things, including your own life. So it's totally understandable to how a lot of parents, especially nowadays, are experiencing parental burnout like no other, because they're juggling a lot more than ever before. And I have a series on parental burnout that I did on YouTube, which I'll probably share later on so you can catch up with that. But just to understand the deeper level aspects, it's not really your child. Maybe it's their actions and whatever, but it's really how you're responding to what's going on, how your stress is being triggered, how your emotions are being rattled at this time. And maybe you just didn't realize that there's some underlying things that maybe are unresolved with you. Maybe you've been holding on to a really long time. Maybe it happened to you when you were a youth and you've been carrying around that baggage for a really long time. And now as a parent, some things are being triggered, or you're reliving some things, or some past things maybe that you experienced as a child are coming up again, or you're being reminded, and then it makes you respond in a way that you've always responded. This is our blueprint. This is the way that we've been programmed to respond and deal with things. So it's deeply embedded within you. And so that's why I always try to encourage parents not to be hard on yourselves as critical as we are of our actions and behaviors, but more so understand our actions. Understand if they're serving us right now or if they need to be changed to be better. Always look for a way to improve ourselves, but also gain a good understanding of why we're the way we are. And really, if it's not working, then what's a different way or a better way we can be so we can benefit from this? So it's not always entirely the individual causing the stress. It's the actions, it's the environment, it's the things going on. And of course you love them. You doesn't mean you don't love them just because they stress you out. Just means that you need to deal with it in a different way. So it doesn't stress you out. It doesn't add to your stress that you already maybe have on different levels for maybe financial reasons or for work or your own personal health as well. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of moving parts all the time. And it's about just honestly getting a grasp on things and trying to move through them in a way where you don't get triggered or traumatized by it negatively. So I encourage you to always evaluate your thoughts, evaluate the way you feel, evaluate what's happening, and perhaps work with somebody to find out the deeper meaning behind what's happening, because there's always a deeper reason. And this is just the way we operate as individuals. Our thoughts create our reality. So if your thought is that this child is irritating me, things that they're saying is irritating me, even when they're trying to be loving, it's irritating me because I've had an accumulation of irritating things occurring from this person. Maybe if that's kind of the way your mind is working right now, or some thoughts that may be entering somewhere around that context, then really it's about trying to change the way you're responding, the way your thoughts are moving through your head, the way you're speaking to yourself, the way you're hearing things, and the way that they're affecting you. And this can effectively change then the way you will continuously respond moving forward. And then building blocks. This is creating building blocks in how you can deal with things as they come at you during life. So we have to start from somewhere, and sometimes you have to undo things that were done upon you a long time ago and reinstate them in a different way now because they no longer serve you, because you're an adult now. And sometimes we just have these things embedded within us that we didn't even know is our automatic response, and this is just the way we feel. So don't carry around shame for being embarrassed. It's natural, it's normal, but also set yourself up for success as well by being with people, being around groups, being in an environment that really supports you, and also finding somebody to really work through things with your own self. And therapy is such a strong utilization of our own capabilities when we go to therapy. This is us writing the letters, accepting change, accepting the desire to want help. So if you're handing it over and you're ready to gain that change in your life, you're ready to really let go of some things and really work at getting back control, then find some therapy, some great therapy out there that can really help you reshape how you feel and change it so you can be the parent that you want to be. So even though you have some bad days, they don't have to be the be all end all. Even when you have bouts of shame and embarrassment, it doesn't have to take away from your personality or your self-worth or break down your self-confidence. So really working with somebody to really break some of those thoughts and patterns that you're in typically and give you some new things to think about. Give yourself some new things to evaluate and to really see that there is another way that you can live life and it doesn't have to be this way. So I hope you're able to get some value out of that today. I'll see you soon.